So Arizona has been a very popular retirement destination now for a very long time, 50 plus years. I think it's important to acknowledge that there's definitely some pros and cons about retiring in Arizona. In this video, I'm going to talk about what those are so that you can make a decision on whether or not retiring in Arizona is going to be right for you. So let's go right into it. All right, so the first pro, probably the most obvious one, we've got 330 days a year of sunshine. That sunshine and warmth cannot be understated. It's definitely a key driver of why the majority of our clients move here, myself included. I was in North Dakota before I was in Arizona. Tell you what, I do not miss shoveling the snow. You can't shovel sunshine. So with all that sunshine comes an abundance of outdoor activities. If you're like into hiking, mountain biking, or just going for a nice walk at the Desert Botanical Garden, this is something that you can do year round, but especially in the winter months when the weather is just pristine, perfect, warm, dry, beautiful weather. The vast majority of our clients who retire here in Arizona, they definitely get up earlier, especially in the summer months when it's super brutally hot during the day. But yeah, you can get up early. There's none of that gray mist or fog that a lot of communities throughout the United States or Canada, experience. So when you wake up in the morning in Arizona, that's one of the favorite things is like bright blue skies, sun comes up, you got your coffee on your patio. Definitely the way to go with weather. So again, of course, with all this beautiful weather, golf. The Phoenix area has about 200 different golf courses. So there's literally no shortage of places to golf, and you've got golf at every price range imaginable. And many are private golf clubs, gated communities that you can actually live in and drive around in your golf cart every day. Of course, this is the desert and it is a dry heat. Now in the winter months, it's not that warm. I mean, I'm talking comfortable warm. We're in the 70s, maybe even 80s come February, end of February, March, but summer months, they do get hot. The nice thing is though, with that dryness, no humidity, you're not gonna be super sweaty and sticky. As long as you got maybe a sun umbrella and you position your golf cart just so for the shade in between your swings, you're not gonna be uncomfortable. You might melt though. One thing a lot of people don't realize about the Phoenix area is that we're in a valley surrounded by mountains, and up in these mountain areas, especially to the north of Phoenix, we've got a lot of lakes, we have boating, jet skiing, all of those fun outdoor boating activities are a really big deal here. So these are things that you can definitely look forward to as far as outdoor activities, especially in those hot summer months. A lot of folks will definitely take advantage of the water sports and hanging out at a little bit higher elevation at these lakes. So one really cool thing, especially around the McCormick Ranch, Gainey Ranch area of Scottsdale, tons and tons of bicycle paths. If you've ever been to the Netherlands in Europe and you've seen all the bicycle paths that they have, it's very similar setup in that part of Scottsdale where you can literally bicycle anywhere safely, separate from the cars. So a lot of retirees pick up bicycling, something they haven't done in decades, since they were a kid. And it's so nice to be able to just hop on your bike, bicycle down to a restaurant, meet up with some friends, watch the game, whatever it is that you want to do, and then bicycle back home. So that's a really huge thing that a lot of people get to like re-explore or rediscover from their youth. And so it's a popular way to be active and enjoy the warm weather that we have with those bicycle paths around that part of Scottsdale. So the next pro, of course, the food scene and the arts. Depending on which area of the Phoenix metro you're going to be living in, food is basically good everywhere. We have the best Mexican food, probably outside of Mexico, that you could find anywhere. I mean, there's definitely no shortage of that. But on that note, there's really every kind of food you can imagine. Every major chain even of like larger upscale restaurants or anything in between. It seems like every week I get another email from economic development manager from some city promoting and showing off that, this new restaurant just came to town, or this one's coming in from Chicago, or these guys are coming down from New York. I mean, we literally have everything you can imagine, from all the great independent restaurants, mid-tier and upper level restaurants. It's definitely the food scene. You can go out to breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day for weeks and months on end. And if you don't want to, never see the same place twice. One place you might want to check out and explore, ArizonaRestaurantWeek.com. It's a really cool, fun time of year where you can go and check out different restaurants for their package deals, but that website will give you a really good idea of how diverse and abundant the restaurant scene is here. When it comes to fine arts, cultural festivals, museums, definitely we have all the above here. There's definitely a lot of opportunities to see different exhibitions that come into the different museums. There's art festivals, there's cultural festivals, Japanese festivals. Literally the list just keeps going on, and that's in the city be it Phoenix, Scottsdale, Chandler, Gilbert, Tempe, everywhere. I mean, you definitely have a lot of availability, and the thing is, because nothing is really that far away from each other, even though the Phoenix Metro is very large, if you're going to a special event, I mean, everything is within 30-45 minutes maximum, depending on where you live in the Phoenix Metro, to get to the cool stuff, right? So definitely a lot of pros here to outweigh some of the cons that we're gonna talk about here in a minute. All right, so if you're a sports fan, the Phoenix Metro, we have every single professional sport there is. For the NFL, we have the Arizona Cardinals. For basketball, the Phoenix Suns. Baseball, of course, we have the Diamondbacks, but furthermore on baseball, we have spring training where all of the teams come down. There's little mini stadiums spread out throughout the Phoenix Metro, so you have lots of opportunities to see all these professional baseball players up close and personal during that spring training time, which is definitely a very fun, lively, kind of picnic feel. Literally, people are picnicking on the outfield. A lot of the stadiums, you'll find sunscreen dispensers. They look like soap dispensers, but you kind of grab sunscreen up because you're gonna be out enjoying the sun. Maybe grab one of those big, tall beers and enjoy hanging out. And then, you know, the month of March is definitely amazing for that. Of course, hockey, we have the Arizona Coyotes. So if you are a hockey fan, especially for our Canadian clients coming down, we do have a professional hockey team. You probably know who they are. They're looking for a new stadium at the moment. They've been moving around, but we have the Arizona Coyotes right here in the Phoenix Metro. And for the soccer fans, we don't want to leave soccer out. Soccer, of course, the biggest sport internationally. It is growing here in the US, as you might already know, but we have here the Phoenix Rising soccer team. And if that's not enough, we also have the NASCAR track. I've been hearing rumors of Formula One possibly coming back. I know they just did a race up in Las Vegas that went off really well. It's been a long, long time since Formula One came to the Phoenix area. But yeah, we do have a NASCAR track on the southwest part of the Phoenix Metro. So if you're into NASCAR and you want to check that out, I definitely recommend it if you've never been. It's definitely a cool experience. The tailgating is massive. If you've never seen, a NASCAR race, the roar of those engines, do not forget your earplugs and maybe even a headset on top of that, because it's definitely something to experience. Even if you're not into racing, check it out, Google it, definitely go. But that's one of the coolest things about living in the Phoenix Metro, especially as a retiree when you've got lots of time on your hands. There is literally no shortage of entertainment, restaurants, sporting events, concerts, you name it. The Phoenix Metro definitely has it. There are calendars on top of calendars for tickets and events. You're never gonna be bored, especially with golf. The Waste Management golf tournament in Scottsdale every year is definitely one that you're not gonna wanna miss. For a lot of our clients, the cost of living is a big deal. If you're coming from the Seattle area, Southern California, New York, Chicago, even Minneapolis to some extent. Minneapolis is pretty affordable for compared to other parts of the US, but a lot of our retirees who are escaping either bad weather or super expensive homes and taxes will find Arizona is definitely way more affordable. You get way more house for the money. You stretch that budget further, get out of that nasty weather, get rid of those higher state taxes. Arizona does have a state income tax, but compared to California, it's very small. It's kind of crazy to see how many of our clients, especially from like the Seattle area or Southern California, who bought their home, let's say 20 years ago, and now they see what it's worth. They can sell it, cash out, and then buy all cash, just a brand new home if they want to here in this area, or just a spectacular remodeled one. And by the way, guys, if that is something that you're looking to do, we are a full-time real estate brokerage team. So make sure you give us a call, shoot us a quick email, send us a quick text message, reach out to us, reach out to me. I'm David Van Asche. Those text messages and emails come directly to me and my team. We're a small team of 5, so we definitely take really great care of our clients. We have daily meetings talking about who's looking for what, so that we can work absolutely together to make sure you're taken care of, that we understand what you need, where you want to find it, and what price point you're looking at. And on that note, if you haven't subscribed to this channel already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and then go after this video and check out all the other videos we have on here that have information about golf course communities. What's it like to live in Gilbert, Scottsdale, Mesa? We cover the entire Phoenix Metro, and we have all the videos right here on this channel to make you aware of your options, so that by the time you reach out to us, you might already have a little bit of an idea of where you want to be, but you're not quite sure how to fine tune it. That's where we come in. We have a conversation with you, and we know exactly what you're looking for at that point to help guide and lead you to the best outcome possible. So the cons, everything so far sounds really good, and look, it is. And the fact that the Phoenix Metro keeps growing year after year should say something pretty powerful about that. But there's definitely some cons. Let's jump into those. So yeah, extreme summer heat. I don't want to understate, the severity of what the heat can look like, especially during the months of end of June, July, and August. It definitely gets up there. There's days where it can be 110, 115. The reality is that is the extreme weather of the year, and we all have air conditioning. Most of us have swimming pools. About half the homes in the Phoenix Metro do. You can get a mister system on your patio. There's things that you want to think about to help mitigate some of that extreme heat, especially if you're going to be living here year round. But the reality is, yeah, after 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning, you're staying inside until evening. That's just the way it goes. A lot of the retiree clients that we work with, they'll take their dogs for a very early morning walk, maybe right before sunset. It might be in the 70s or 80s. It's comfortable, it's dry. So that's kind of how you work around the extremes of summer heat. Take care of your business first thing in the morning, spend the day inside, relaxing, catching up on Netflix. Maybe it's a good time to hit up the airport and fly off north to visit some friends or family, things like that. The reality is those really hot summer months definitely affect outdoor activities. So the reality is if you're going to be doing outdoor activities, you're doing them first thing in the morning, and the rest of the day is pretty well shot. You're going to be indoors. Yeah, it sucks, but pros and cons, you got to weigh your options, right? So a lot of retirees will definitely take 4 or 5 day weekends and jet up to Colorado or visit family up in Seattle or head up to Yellowstone in Wyoming, Idaho, Montana area. So definitely a good excuse to get out for the summer months, but the rest of the year, gorgeous. So we are a desert landscape, but actually it's kind of funny. One of my aunts lives up in Snohomish, Washington. She came down to visit and she was surprised. She's like, where's all the sand? A lot of people think that being in the desert means it's like, Saudi Arabia and all these pictures of just the sand and the pyramids. No. Phoenix is definitely a desert because it doesn't rain that much, but you're not going to see a landscape full of just sand dunes and rolling sand. That's just really not what you see here in the Phoenix Metro at all. In fact, there's a lot of green. There's trees everywhere. Yes, they're all irrigated, they're planted there and they're kept that way, but check out one of our driving videos. There's a video on this channel talks about driving in Gilbert and Chandler. You can fast forward through some of that, but you can see what I'm talking about as far as tree-lined streets and grass in people's yards. There's definitely a lot of green living in the desert. It's just all irrigated, so it has to be maintained that way. If you're into more low-key, less stressful type of hobbies, we'll talk about gardening maybe. You're gonna have to go online and definitely Google the best times to plant certain, things, your tomato plants, things like that. If you're coming from the Seattle area and you kind of like doing that stuff, the time of year that you grow is not the summer months. It's kind of almost like flipped upside and backwards. It's just, the summer, it's just hot, dry, not a good time for that kind of stuff. So you're going to want to kind of plan accordingly and, adjust to the new reality of the hot desert landscape in the summer and the more temperate, beautiful weather the rest of the year. All right, so haboobs and monsoons, kind of the same thing. Maybe you've heard of these things. They happen almost every year. There actually are some years where those storms and that moisture doesn't quite make it to the Phoenix area, but go on Google, search Arizona haboobs or Arizona monsoons, and you can see some really cool pictures what these storms look like. They're basically big rolling dust storms full of moisture, lightning, and heavy winds. They come and go pretty quick, but you're gonna wanna know that if you've got umbrellas around the pool or patio furniture, things like that, you're gonna wanna have that stuff locked down, put away. And these storms don't usually have a lot of warning in the summertime. So generally speaking, because you're not gonna be spending a ton of time outdoors, typically, a lot of people keep their outdoor patio furniture to a minimum so that when they do get an alert that the weather's coming, real quick, scoot it inside, under the cover, something like that. Really guys, it's not that big of a deal. You'll see some pretty obnoxious looking pictures online about what these storms look like and driving in them. Yeah, you probably don't want to be driving in them, but they come, they go fairly quickly. They're just a way of life here in the summertime, and they usually don't disrupt things very often. In fact, I think most people actually really like them because the weather is just always sunny, bright blue skies, and believe it or not, that can get boring. So it's kind of nice to see just a quick change of weather come through, maybe a couple of trees get blown over, something exciting happens, right, with the weather. So that's kind of the long and short of monsoons and haboobs. They're manageable. They aren't really that big of a deal in the big picture of things, but in the short term when they're happening, yeah, you definitely want to be prepared and kind of have an idea of how to manage that so that your kid's trampoline or grandkid's trampoline doesn't blow off into the neighbor's yard, things like that. Pests and critters, another con. You might have heard of rattlesnakes and scorpions and cockroaches, all of those things. And yes, Arizona has all of those things. But for the majority of our clients who are retiring in Arizona, the vast majority of the homes that are available are typically in these master plan communities or these 55 and up gated communities. My point of saying that is that you're not really in the desert, and literally everybody has pest control services. You turn on the radio and you're going to hear 5 different pest control service companies advertising for business. And the reason why they're so popular and prevalent is they're really inexpensive and they're really effective. Everybody treats their property for the scorpions and the, I've never seen a rattlesnake like in the city. When I was out hiking up in the mountains, I saw one once. Somebody coming down the trail told me like, hey, look back there, there's somebody coming. Somebody said they spotted a rattlesnake, and sure enough, it was there. He didn't mess with us. We just kind of walked around him. He was over in the bushes. I thought it was pretty cool. But the reality is, guys, yeah, scorpions exist. I don't know if you know this, but you can shine a black light on the ground at night and they glow fluorescent, which is super cool. So you can see them if you are concerned about it. But here's the deal. As long as you maintain your property, spend the 30, 40 bucks a month or whatever it is to have a pest control service, regularly maintain the premises, they spray the perimeter walls around the house, things like that, you're never gonna see them. I mean, there's people who have lived in the Phoenix area 40 years and they swear they've never actually seen a scorpion at their house. They had to go like look for one or have somebody show them that kind of thing. So that is probably the more extreme. You might eventually run into one, but they're slow moving critters. They don't jump or pounce, or they're not like these aggressive kind of animals. They're just, they're like big insects and they move fairly slowly when they exist. But here, bottom line, as long as you maintain your property or have somebody maintain it for you, not an issue. Another con, transportation and driving. Phoenix was not built around public transit in mind. Yes, there are buses and some trams, and they are making an effort to try and create more public transit in the way that you might think of it, like on East Coast cities, things like that. But here's the long and short of it. You don't want to live in the Phoenix Metro without a car. If you don't drive, you're going to want to have a really big budget for Uber and Lyft. It's just way too inconvenient for the majority of people to actually use buses or any kind of public transport. So yeah, if you're not driving yourself around, you're going to want to have somebody pick you up and take you to where you want to go. Cool thing is though, all the grocery stores, everyone does delivery of groceries and takeout or whatever you want. So if you do want to stay home, even if you do drive, and you probably do, it is nice to be able to whip out your phone, pull up a dinner order from someplace, and boom, 30 minutes later it's at your doorstep. So I'm not just talking just Domino's, but like everything. It's very common here. Same with Amazon deliveries. We have multiple Amazon warehouses, same day delivery on a lot of that stuff. So living in the Phoenix Metro, especially if you're coming from a slightly more rural type of area, you definitely get spoiled very, very fast with the abundance of options and the speed at which those options can come to you. If driving is a concern, maybe you can't see so well, you're just not comfortable, there's a lot of very large master plan gated communities where a lot of folks, even if they do have a car, they just never use it because they've got their golf cart. You can golf cart to the grocery store, you can golf cart to your friends, over to the practice facility, down to the restaurant to have a drink and a meal with your friends. So if that fits your idea of what would be best for you retiring in Arizona, give us a call, reach out to us so that we can point you in the right direction for neighborhoods and communities that are going to meet that kind of a criteria, that are going to give you that kind of a lifestyle. And there's a lot of them. A lot of them we've actually covered on this YouTube channel. So subscribe. If you're liking this video so far, hit that like button as well. But your best bet, you got to reach out to us. It's funny, I actually had a client recently, they did call me finally, but they said they were arguing between the husband and wife. I'm like, no, don't call him. He's famous. He'll never take our call. He's too busy for us. And I thought that was super funny. So if you are having that thought, like, hey, David is famous, he's talking to me on my television screen right now, like that guy's never going to be able to help me. No, if I will absolutely take your call. We can meet on a Zoom call, talk about the neighborhoods. To be fair, I do have 4 agents on my team, so one of them might be helping you actually go out and see some of these properties because there's only one of me and I get stretched thin a little bit sometimes, but the reality is I'm there for every single one of our clients with our team. We get together every morning and talk about where we're at with every client that we're working with. So our clients have a killer experience as far as finding the right places and having a good time together. So I hope this kind of helps give you a little bit of an idea of how the pros and cons weigh as far as retiring here in Arizona. Again, there's multiple videos on our YouTube channel. Browse them, check them out. Give us a call, send us a text message, or you can click a link below in the description. Or if you're watching us on your TV screen, hit the pause button, take your phone out of your pocket and take a picture of your TV screen with our phone number, which is listed right here. And yeah, give us a call, shoot us a text message when you're ready to talk more about what your options are down here. We can send you on either a self-guided tour to physically go out and look at some of these places yourself, or if you feel more comfortable, you know, looking at a few homes with us, we can arrange for that as well. But again, pros, you got awesome weather, outdoor activities, golf galore, amazing food scene, you know, cultural activities, sports, concerts, basically endless entertainment going on. Cost of living, especially for a lot of people moving from a lot of places throughout the United States, is going to be much lower here. You're going to get way more bang for your buck as far as the kind of community, the quality of the home, the type of neighborhood that you're looking for. It's definitely going to be a lot of different options, and it can be intimidating at first for a lot of people, which is why we make these videos, because we get a lot of the same questions from people that are considering moving and relocating here for retirement or otherwise. And so definitely, you know, if you're not sure about something or you don't even know what questions to ask, still reach out to us. We'd be happy. We love it when we get reach outs from you on YouTube. Somebody calls and says, hey, we've been watching your YouTube channel. You said call, and I did. We love it. So keep doing that. And of course, recapping the cons real quick, we got really hot summers. It is a different climate. You know, that desert dryness with extreme heat in the summer is definitely different for a lot of people. You know, those haboob windstorms, monsoon storms, they are manageable. We do find out about them usually a few hours before they hit, but it's definitely something you just want to be aware of and be prepared for. The pest and critter situation, not really a big deal as long as you're proactive and take care of it. It's when, you know, a house gets abandoned, or, you know, they stop maintaining the facilities or the area, and, you know, it allows those pests to spread, then yeah, you might have like a legit issue. But in this day and age, like, that's not really a thing. No, you know, it's does it exist? Yes, but does anybody see it? No, not really. Transportation and driving, of course, is huge here. The nice thing is, which I didn't mention before, the roads are really built for large amounts of cars. We have the loops, we have the arterials. It's a very grid-like system. So getting around is really easy. There's multiple ways to get from A to B. If a certain road's closed, there's another way to get there. But driving is definitely the way to get around. It's not really optional for the most part. I mean, in a practical sense, it's not optional. You do have to have a car to drive here, but not a big deal. You know, the roads they typically run real smooth. There are a couple of choke points. So if you're moving here and to retire, but you're still working, that's even more important that you call us now, because we can help you identify which areas are those choke points during like a rush hour type thing, so that the neighborhoods and areas that you're exploring compared to where you might have to drive for work or to meet with certain clients of yours, or whatever it is that you're doing, you want to make sure that yeah, you're not going to get caught up in any of those choke points. So we definitely know where those are at and how they're laid out. So yeah, give us a call, shoot us an email, send a quick text message, or click the link below, or scan that QR code on the screen to learn more about what it's like to work with us, what it's like to move and relocate here to the Phoenix, Arizona area. Look, until the next video, guys, catch you in the next one. See ya.